Did you know there are roughly 2.1 million weddings every single year in the United States? That's over 5,700 people getting married every single day. That's enough people to pack a football stadium every single day. At least the stadium would stay full for 4 quarters. Most marriages don't even last that long. The wedding industry alone is worth over $70 billion annually, with the average cost of a wedding hitting about $33,900. Think about that, 34 grand to rent a DJ, cut a cake, and fund a photo shoot you'll regret when the divorce papers arrive 8 years later. Now, imagine this. All men finally wake up. They decide to boycott marriage. Not for a decade, not forever, just for 1 single year. No engagement rings, no wedding dresses, no bachelor parties in Vegas, no wedding cakes, no photo booths, no white doves in the chapel. Nothing. What would happen to marriage as an institution? What would happen to the economy that feeds off it? And how would society, women, corporations, politicians react when their favorite cash cow suddenly goes on strike? Let's find out. Oh, I'm hyped for this one because around here, we're all about boycotting marriage. So let's kick this off the old-fashioned way. Now it's time for us to get into this and do what we gotta do. Because we many.
Freedom is a fragile thing, and it's never more than 1 generation away from extinction. It is not ours by way of inheritance. It must be fought for and defended constantly by each generation.
Those were the words of California Governor Ronald Reagan in 1967. Inspiring, patriotic, and eerily ironic, because just 2 years later, Reagan signed the nation's first no-fault divorce law. For the first time in U.S. history, anyone could walk away from a marriage without proving adultery, abuse, or abandonment. No questions asked, no shame, no blame. What happened next? Divorce rates exploded, lawyers got rich, courtrooms overflowed, and the very definition of marriage changed almost overnight. This is what happens when the rules of the game suddenly shift. Society scrambles, institutions adjust, and those who thought the system was built to last find out it isn't. Now imagine men walking away from marriage for just 1 single year. If a simple law could shake the foundation of marriage in the 1970s, what happens when millions of men decide to sit out voluntarily? The ripple effect wouldn't just be loud, it would be seismic. Why would men boycott marriage in the first place? There was a time when marriage meant something tangible to men. It gave you exclusive access to sex. It secured a family legacy. It was socially expected. If you got a girl pregnant, you married her or faced public shame. Fast forward to 2025, and guess what? None of that is true anymore. Sex is no longer locked behind a marriage license. You don't need a ring to booty tap dance. Welcome to the land of casual hookups and situationships. Remember the old shotgun marriage? When a guy got his girlfriend pregnant, the whole town marched him to the altar at gunpoint. Those days are gone. No one cares. The US birth rate is already at 1.6, below replacement level. If your situationship does get pregnant, she's more likely to remove the pregnancy and get back to the hot dog carousel. Serious relationships, those are for later, after the club, after the vacations, after the wall.
No, please no.
And for the tiny fraction of couples who do walk down the aisle, let's look at the reality. Average marriage length in the US, 8.2 years. Divorce, approximately 45%. Who files 70% of divorces? Women. Not only do women file most divorces, they often walk away with your resources. Courts still operate on outdated assumptions about men being providers. Women marry up, and if the marriage collapses, the system makes sure you pay up. Financially, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. And just to sweeten this disaster Sunday, weddings themselves are ridiculously expensive. $34,000 just to let your future ex-wife feel like a princess for 24 hours. The foolishness. Everyone knows the wedding is about her, not you. Ask Jennifer Lopez. She's practically running a punch card system. The truth? Modern marriage offers men almost zero benefits. The only thing it really does is reduce the chance you'll be falsely accused by a girlfriend. But even that's not guaranteed. Just ask Shannon Sharp how easily women can backtrack consent and demand millions instead of justice. So, Now that we've established why men should boycott marriage, let's imagine what happens during a 1-year hiatus. Year 1, the marriage strike begins. Day 1, jewelers panic. Sales of engagement rings drop off a cliff. Day 7, bridal shops start screaming about the collapse of love. Day 30, wedding planners are calling their senators, begging for stimulus checks. The wedding industry is not small potatoes. It's a massive machine with thousands of businesses, bridal gown boutiques, florists and decorators, photographers and videographers, hotels, caterers, DJs, limo services, ring designers, and luxury jewelers. If even 1 year's worth of weddings disappeared, we're talking billions of dollars evaporating, thousands of workers, mostly women, out of jobs. And here's where it gets fun. Corporations would absolutely freak out. Reality shows about saving marriage would flood TV. Commercials would pop up, showing happy brides crying over diamond rings. Politicians would suddenly care about family values. Not for you, but because tax revenue drops when weddings slow down. The female response, the new hustle. If marriage money dries up, do you think women will sit still? No chance. When one door closes, another scam opens. If there's no wedding cake, there's still bread to chase. False accusations spike. Some women will treat lawsuits as the new divorce settlement. Celebrity payout schemes rise. Ask Shannon Sharp. It's easier than ever to target wealthy men with retroactive consent games. Alternative grifts emerge. If men stop voluntarily giving resources through marriage, some women will force the transfer through courts, media pressure, or weaponized public opinion. Marriage disappearing for even 1 year doesn't stop hypergamy. It just makes it more aggressive. Corporate and government panic. When men stop marrying, entire systems lose leverage. Marriage isn't just about love, it's about control. It keeps men tied to the tax system. It keeps family courts funded. It keeps consumer spending predictable. 2 incomes, 1 household. So, if millions of men suddenly refuse to participate, expect tax incentives for marriage. Expect laws reforming divorce courts to lure men back in. Expect billions spent on propaganda to shame men. Real men commit. And it's already happening. Turn on the news. Articles and talk shows are blaming the manosphere, accusing it of poisoning young men, calling it toxic, dangerous, and even extremist. They're not mad because men are quote-unquote lost. They're mad because men are walking away. Society will not sit idly by while the $70 billion wedding machine crashes. They'll fight to keep you buying rings, not because they care about love, but because they care about money and power. The death of strong and independent. If men walk away from marriage, the cultural script flips almost overnight. For decades, the slogan, "Strong, Independent Woman," has been backed by 2 safety nets: stable service industry jobs, the option to marry a man for additional financial security. But both are vanishing at the same time. First, the marriage strike cuts off the personal safety net. If millions of men refuse to marry, even briefly, fewer women will have access to a husband's resources. No rings, no shared mortgage, no backup plan. Second, automation erases the professional safety net. AI is already replacing roles where women dominate: HR, administrative support, clerical work, even parts of education and healthcare. These are the first industries being streamlined by algorithms and robots. Not factories full of men, but offices full of women. Put these 2 trends together, and the "I don't need a man" narrative collapses. Not because of slogans, but because of math. When income shrinks at work and marriage stops being an option, survival demands that women start valuing men's leadership again. Not as some nostalgia act, not because Instagram said so, but because reality doesn't negotiate. What happens after 1 year? By the end of 12 months with no male participation in marriage, bridal shops close in droves. Entire retail sectors vanish. Wedding venues go bankrupt. That rustic barn with string lights? For sale. Divorce lawyers start sweating. No marriages equals no divorces equals no billable hours. Corporations go into emergency PR mode. Expect Netflix series, Super Bowl ads, even politicians crying on camera about saving love. Women start negotiating again. Feminine energy makes a comeback because leverage is gone. And most importantly, men realize how little marriage offers them in return. Once you've tasted life without the threat of alimony, custody battles, or being legally robbed in divorce court, do you ever go back? The answer is no. The institution of marriage would survive the boycott, but it would never look the same again. Marriage was never about love. It was about survival, legacy, and control. And in modern times, it's about liability. Today, it's a contract designed to benefit women, lawyers, and the state, not men. If men went on strike for just 1 year, we'd see economic collapse in the wedding sector, media and government propaganda begging men to come back, women scrambling for alternative revenue streams, social pressure finally shifting back toward cooperation, and respect for men's leadership. And here's the twist. Men wouldn't even need to boycott forever. Just 12 months of unity would expose how fragile and how unnecessary the current marriage model really is. Because when men stop playing the game, the entire system grinds to a halt.
Management, we working. Protect yourself at all times. This video has officially been highlighted.